Hi, you are watching Reddit Stories.
I found out my ex cheated on me, but that wasn't even the worst part. Okay, so I never expected to be one of those people who posts on Reddit about some emotionally catastrophic life event. But here I am. It's been 6 months since everything went to hell, and writing this out might finally help me sleep. Or at least stop waking up in cold sweats thinking about how blind I was. Let me take you back. I, 32 Maine, met Emma, 29F, 3 years ago at a mutual friend's engagement party. She was wearing this ridiculous sun hat indoors because she said the lighting gave her migraines. I thought it was quirky. Turns out, a lot of things I thought were quirky were actually massive red flags. But I digress. We hit it off immediately. She was smart, sarcastic, a little emotionally aloof, but something about that made me chase harder. She challenged me. I'd been in a string of safe, boring relationships before Emma, and being with her felt like cliff diving equal parts thrilling and terrifying. Within 8 months, we'd moved in together. I thought things were great. We had our routines. Taco Tuesday, movie nights, impromptu road trips. We fought, sure, but what couple doesn't? I chalked it up to both of us being passionate people. The first crack came when she started working late. She was in marketing for a startup, and I knew things were hectic, but it went from, I'll be home at 7 to, I might crash at the office. A little too fast. I trusted her, though, like an idiot. Then I found the hoodie. It wasn't mine. Black, oversized, with a Red Hot Chili Peppers logo. I asked her about it casually. She said it was from a thrift store. I didn't think much of it until I smelled it. Cologne? Definitely not mine. It smelled like someone who wanted you to know they were wearing cologne. I wish I could say I confronted her right then. I didn't. Instead, I let it stew. Started noticing other things. She changed her phone password. She kept her screen tilted away from me. She became weirdly defensive whenever I asked about her day. But again, I didn't act. Not until I found the burner phone. Yeah, a literal burner phone. It was hidden behind the bathroom sink pipe. I was fixing a leak and saw the glint of metal tucked behind the curved part of the plumbing. I pulled it out, confused, thinking maybe it was an old phone or something she meant to recycle. Nope. Fully charged active burner. There were 3 numbers saved. 2 of them were spam bots from the looks of the texts. The third was saved under E. I opened the conversation and my stomach dropped. Photos, messages, videos. She'd been cheating on me with someone named Eli for at least a year. I should have felt rage or heartbreak or something, but I just went numb. I packed the phone back up, finished fixing the leak, and pretended nothing was wrong. That night, I copied everything from the burner to a USB stick. I still hadn't confronted her. I don't know why. Maybe because a part of me needed to be absolutely sure. Or maybe I was scared of the answer to the question that kept burning in the back of my mind. Why wasn't I enough? Turns out that wasn't even the right question. So yeah, I had proof. She was cheating. I should have confronted her, kicked her out, called her names. But no, I decided to do something else first. I wanted to know who Eli was. The photos didn't show his face clearly, always angled away or cropped. But there was one detail that stood out. He had a very distinct tattoo on his forearm. A geometric wolf pattern. Looked like something off Pinterest. I reverse image searched it. No luck. But then, I noticed something in one of the videos. It was taken in what looked like a hotel room, and in the background, through the window, you could see a neon sign, Halcyon. I Googled it. Turns out there was a boutique hotel called the Halcyon about 20 minutes away. I drove down there the next day under the pretense of looking to book a room for my anniversary. The guy at the desk was surprisingly chill. I mentioned I'd heard about the place from a friend named Eli. I don't know what I was expecting, but the guy smiled and said, "Oh, Eli Vance? He's here all the time." Bingo, I played dumb. Got some more info out of him. Eli Vance was a freelance photographer. Usually booked the penthouse suite on weekends. Had a petite brunette with him most times. I asked to see a sample room. While the guy went to grab a key, I slipped behind the desk and snapped a pic of the guest log. Eli's real name wasn't Eli Vance. It was Elias Vendel. And that's where everything got weird. So, I go full amateur detective mode. I look up Elias Vendel. He's got no real online presence, no Facebook, no Instagram. That's already a red flag in 2025. But I did find one article that changed everything. Apparently, Elias used to work for a tech company in Seattle that folded under massively suspicious circumstances. Lawsuits, missing funds, and then, poof, he disappears. The article speculated he changed identities. There was even a comment suggesting Elias had been seen in my city. This wasn't just about cheating anymore. Emma was involved with someone sketchy as hell. So, I dug into her laptop. Yeah, I know, not proud. But at this point, ethics were kind of out the window. That's when I found the second USB, labeled Avalon. I plugged it in, encrypted. But guess who took a cybersecurity course in college and remembered just enough to brute force the password? It was our cat's name. Typical. Inside were files, spreadsheets, PDFs, encrypted messages. It looked like some kind of ledger, transfers, wire routes, account names, offshore banks. It didn't make any sense until I saw one folder labeled Phase 2. That's when I realized this wasn't about cheating. Emma and Elias were running some kind of financial scam, or worse, and I was in it. So I had a USB full of encrypted financial data and a sickening realization in my gut. Emma wasn't just cheating. She was laundering money, maybe worse. And I, by proximity, might already be compromised. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I poured through the files. One spreadsheet stood out. It listed recurring wire transfers from multiple fake LLCs to shell companies in Luxembourg, the Cayman Islands, and Panama. I only recognized one name, Kilnstone Equity. That name was on one of Emma's random tax documents I once helped her scan. It meant she was using her own identity. She wasn't just an accessory, she was directly involved. But it got darker. One of the PDFs was a scanned passport under the name Lena Voronova. The photo looked like Emma. Same face, different hair, Russian nationality. Issued 2 years before we met. I didn't know what scared me more, the fact she had a second identity, or the fact that she had multiple passports, all under different names. That's when I realized something else. I'd never met Emma's family. She always dodged questions about them, said they were estranged or toxic. I never pushed. I should have. I decided to call the only person who might have insight, My buddy Chris, the one who introduced us at the engagement party. He used to date Emma's friend for a while and might know more. But when I brought up Emma's past, Chris went quiet. Then he said something that chilled me. I never actually knew her. She just showed up. Like, one day she was around and no one questioned it. That wasn't quirky anymore. That was calculated. 3 days after I found the USB, I came home from work to find the apartment door slightly ajar. Heart in my throat, I stepped inside. Nothing looked stolen, but everything felt touched. Drawers slightly open. Laptop still warm, but in the wrong place. The USB? Gone. I rushed to my backup drive. Still there. I had made a second copy, and thank God I did. Emma came home 20 minutes later, carrying groceries like nothing happened. I watched her closely. She noticed the door too, feigned surprise. I played dumb. But that night, while she was in the shower, I checked her bag. No phone, no burner. Just a strange device that looked like a signal jammer or GPS blocker. My head was spinning. Was she on to me? Did she know I knew? The next day, I got a call from an unknown number. The voice on the other end was male, accented, calm. "Stop digging," he said, "or you'll wish you hadn't." I went back to the Halcyon Hotel and bribed the receptionist for access to security footage. I said Elias stole from me. It was a lie, but the clerk let me look, probably thinking it was a petty breakup squabble. I saw them. Elias and Emma. Multiple times. Always checking in under different names. Always careful not to face the cameras directly. But on one visit, Elias's face was caught clearly. I used facial recognition tools online, ran it through everything I could access. No hits until I posted it in a private security forum where ex-cops and analysts trade info. Within an hour, I got a response. Elias Vendel was dead. Died 5 years ago in a boating accident in Canada. Same tattoos, same build, same face. So who the hell was this? I began to wonder if I was being played by everyone. I still hadn't confronted Emma. I needed more proof, more leverage. I reached out to someone I hadn't spoken to in years. My ex, Mara, who worked in cybercrime law enforcement. I told her everything, sent her the files. She didn't reply for a day. When she finally did, it was one sentence. Get out now. That night, I booked a hotel under a fake name. Didn't go home. Didn't tell anyone. The next morning, I saw a report on the news. There'd been a fire in my apartment building. It started in my unit. The fire department claimed faulty wiring. I knew better. I was officially off the grid. I deleted all my accounts, burned everything tied to my identity, even bought a burner phone of my own. Then I set a trap. I sent a dummy email to Emma from a spoofed address, pretending to be Elias, saying the files are compromised. Meet me where we first planned Phase 3. I waited. The next day, she took a flight to Belize. I watched her from afar at the airport. She looked completely calm, unreadable. She never once looked back. 2 days later, I got an encrypted message through a secure forum I hadn't used in years. The subject line, "Are you watching closely?" Inside was a video. It was Elias, alive, speaking directly into the camera. "I warned you," he said. "Now you're in it." Then the screen went black. I dug deeper into Avalon. The term popped up in several financial documents. One ledger listed it as a beneficiary for multiple international transactions totaling over 90 million. Avalon, it turns out, was a vault network used by cartels and rogue states. It wasn't just Emma and Elias laundering money. They were part of an infrastructure designed to bypass global sanctions. And now my IP had accessed those files. I wasn't just a bystander. To anyone watching, I was an accomplice. So I did the only thing left. I leaked it. Anonymously. Through whistleblower portals. Every document, every trace, sent to international journalists, law enforcement, cybersecurity watchdogs. I torched the whole damn thing. And then I disappeared. It's been 6 months. The fallout was massive. Global headlines, arrests. One of the shell companies turned out to be tied to a senator's campaign fund. Another was a front for trafficking. But Emma? She was never caught. Elias? Still a ghost. Me? I live in a town I won't name, under a name I won't admit, working nights as a janitor in a data center. Nobody knows me. And I like it that way. Sometimes I think I see her at a gas station, on a subway platform, in my dreams. I never got closure, never got to ask her why, whether she ever loved me, whether it was real. But maybe I already know the answer, or maybe I don't want to.